and welcome to episode 35 of JesusCoffeeBarbells. My name is Sarah Hoffman, and joining me is Amber George. We're going to just dive right into our question of the day. Amber.
Yes?
If you had a theme song for your life, what would it be?
Oh, no. You may have to edit out some dead air. Let me go through my playlist.
I knew this was going to be a hard one. I was like, she probably won't be able to think of one off the top of her head, but maybe.
No, let's see. Born to be Wild? No, I'm just kidding. This is a lot of pressure because this is being recorded and will be put out into the world and will be all out for everyone to see.
Do you want me to think of a different question for you?
I really can't think of one. So I'm like going through like worship songs in my head, and there's so many worship songs that I just love, and each one of them have had I felt like have been a theme song at certain times in my life, right? So what I mean by that is Do It Again by Elevation Worship. That was one that I had on repeat when David was in the midst of like his heart issues a couple of years ago. So that was that one. Then right in the middle of that, actually, Graves into Gardens came out by Elevation Worship. And then that one kind of took over from there. And then there's so many. Living Hope by Phil Wickham.
So I should have just asked, what's your playlist for your life?
There's more of a playlist versus a song, because I love all different kinds of music. I listen to anything and everything with the exception of vulgar stuff. Yeah. So I have stuff in my big playlist from Latin dance music to punk rock from when we were in high school to worship music. I mean, as long as it's not vulgar and disgusting, I will just about listen to it because I just love music. Yeah. So I think it's more of a playlist versus an actual song.
What's at the top of your playlist?
Depends on the day. There are some days I'm in the mood where I'm like, oh, everything... all these songs are so great. They're just hitting. And then there's other days where I am skipping every single song. I'm like, no. So it depends. Maybe it has to depend on where I am in the month,
Right.
So
I was thinking, and I just thought of the first song that popped into my head that I was like, oh, that's appropriate. Even if it's not for every season. Or do you remember Stephen Curtis Chapman?
Yeah.
I don't know if he still puts out songs. Does he still put out songs?
I don't know that he puts out songs, but I mean, I think he still performs.
I listened to the song I'm Diving In, or I think it's just called Dive. But I was
Dive.
Like, oh, that's appropriate. Oh, Dive. Is that what it is?
I think it's just Dive. Yeah, that was very popular. Yeah.
Yes. That was my theme song. I just dive in, and I'm almost always over my head in all of things. But,
So... on that same topic, I burned the pile of wood out behind my house.
Yeah.
Right? So I hadn't burned it because we were still putting stuff on it, for one. And for two, it was trash. It was trash. It was not good wood. It was trash.
But anyway. To differ.
I know. That's the whole point of my story. So David, we're standing out there, and here he comes home. And I've burnt the wood pile. And he said, did you ask Sarah if she wanted anything else?
I love that man. He is so sweet. Amber, you did not ask me.
Fine. I said, she's fine.
I'm not fine. I could have used almost everything of that in that pile.
No. Oh my goodness.
I love that so much.
But no, it was pieces of wood that no. Anyway, so yeah, it's just the difference. I'm like the hyper keep everything clean because if it's cluttered, I can't focus and concentrate. And you're like, no, we should save that for later. Like, that could be used later. So,
one man's trash is another man's treasure.
it's true. It's true. So, you took some of that wood and then come back to my house the next week and it was still in your van. So,
life gets busy, Amber, but I used it. I used it.
You did. You did use it. Oh, that's funny. So,
one more thing before we start talking about all things fitness.
Okay.
I've picked up a phrase of yours that you say, and I don't know, you probably would be like, oh yeah, I say that all the time, but I have started to use it when I don't want to validate what somebody else is saying. Like, I'm going to tell you what it is in a second, but
okay.
When they're talking to me and they're like, and they're telling me all these things, I don't want to say, oh yeah, that makes sense, or I understand, like, because I don't want to be like, no, you're not making a good decision. But instead, I have said, I hear you, to let them know I'm listening, but I don't necessarily agree with what you're saying.
Hey, okay.
Okay, I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but, and I don't know, do you realize that you say that all the time? I hear you.
I don't realize that I say that all the time. I think it was, maybe I do realize I say that all the time because I picked it up, honestly, when I was working in corporate America because the job that I had the longest that I was there, I had to deal with some really difficult people. Like, really difficult people. And I had to tell some of these people no a lot of times. And people don't like being told no. And so I had to learn to acknowledge what they were saying, but they were still not going to get their way. So, and it's too much to go into at this point, but they would want to do some of the most outlandish and outrageous things. And I'm like, you can't do that. Like, you can't. And anyway, but, and they would give me this reason why. And I just remember starting to say, I hear you. It's still not happening. So anyway, I was loved. I was loved. My boss actually liked me.
Okay, Amber. All things fitness.
Okay.
We have so many notes on this written down, so we're totally prepared for this episode.
There's a lot. And when you say all things fitness, the biggest thing is that everybody has different fitness needs, which is why when you're creating, as a coach, when I create generalized workout plans, like if you were to work with me one-on-one, you're going to get a different workout plan, completely different workout plan. I say completely different, but like the framework will be the same, but the exercises will be different because some people, it just depends on what they're looking for, what their needs are, what equipment they have, and all that. So it's very hard to just like sum everything up in just like a pretty little bow. But I would say over my years of being a coach, the biggest issue women have come across is the issue of food. Because even when they're eating well, they still don't feel super great. Like they feel better, but there could be all kinds of different reasons for that. I've sent countless women to like doctors of being like, hey, I just want you to go get checked out by your doctor. I don't want to get out of my scope of practice. And they'll go get checked out and there might be like hormones out of whack or something like that. So like if you're working out and you're eating well and you're doing all these kinds of things, but you're still not feeling great, first thing you want to look at is like sleep. What's your quality of sleep? Because if you have young kids that are still waking up in the night, that's going to cause issues. But like if everything's lined up and you're still feeling like garbage, you might want to you want to find a doctor that will talk to you about hormones and not just prescribe you a pill. That's getting on the edge of like my scope of practice, so I don't want to stray too far, but it's a really big deal. Women's hormones are more out of whack than what mainstream medicine will tell you, and mainstream medicine is not taught on hormones. They're not really taught on women's hormones. So if you just go to a gynecologist that doesn't specialize in that, they're not going to know what to do with you. It took me forever to find one that would talk to me about my hormones, and I finally did. I finally did, and I've been feeling better. Yeah. We're coming up on 8 months of that, and I'm finally feeling better. So, anyway.
It's hard, too, because a lot of the foods we eat can affect our hormones, too. And so
it can.
Even if you're trying to sleep appropriate amounts, you're working out and getting your exercise, like the types of food you put in your body really affect your fitness too.
They do. And just because it's chicken doesn't mean that it's quality chicken, right? So chicken actually kind of gets a bad rap because it's like, oh, you fitness people just eat dry chicken. Well, if you're eating dry chicken, you're doing it wrong. But like you're not cooking it right.
I bet they're boiling it.
You know what? I think we've had this conversation. Have we not? Have we had this conversation about this guy that I worked with?
Oh, no.
I worked with a guy. Dude, there was a guy that I worked with that he took chicken and boiled it until it was just obliterated. And he said, I don't want any salt in there that could make me swell. And I'm like, okay, well, I hear you. Put some seasoning on it because you're just making yourself miserable. But anyway, just because it's chicken, though, doesn't mean it's quality chicken. So you have to look at things like, is it pumped full of antibiotics? Like, is it pumped full of this stuff? The best, and it is more expensive, but the best chicken you can find is organic, free-range chicken. You'll be amazed. When you go to the grocery store, and you pick up just a regular pack of chicken. Look at what it says. Does it say that it has carrageenan in it? Does it say that it had, just look at the ingredients. The ingredients should say chicken and maybe a bit of salt to kind of keep it,
preserve it.
But, yeah, but that's it.
That's interesting. I'll have to double check. I don't know if I've ever looked at I just assume my chicken, I don't know, I just pick up chicken.
Yeah. It's not always chicken. You'd be amazed. So, there was a guy from our church that when he found out that not all chicken is created the same, meaning processed the same. It's not all butchered and grown and all that the same. He went and looked at his pack of chicken that he had in his freezer, and he swapped it out, and he started immediately losing weight. Because what was in that chicken was causing him to retain water, and it was causing other. So he said, that is incredible. I had no idea. So anyway, it's just, there are things that are allowed in foods in the United States that are not allowed in other countries, and that's for a reason. Like some of the dyes, the things that they can put in our chicken and in our beef and things like that is not allowed in other countries, but it is here.
Yeah.
A good account to follow when it comes to food is, I think it's The Food Babe. It's one word.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there's no underscores or anything. Her account started small, but it blew up. And she has a million followers. She's come out with her own brand of powdered protein that I want to try, because she'll tell you, she'll go into the grocery store and she'll pick up a box of whatever, typically what would be a kid's snack. She'll show you the ingredients on it, and she'll say, this ingredient does this ingredient is used in Roundup, this ingredient is, it's highly educational. I recommend her account. I really recommend her account if you struggle with food.
Yeah.
So
So apart from food, as far as like fitness goes, and you kind of spoke on this a little bit at the beginning of the podcast, you were talking about like general workouts versus like individual workouts. So like when you've created general workouts, I feel like that's hard too as somebody. If I was looking for a fitness plan or something to follow, I'll have to look for if I was at home and had a home gym, I'd be like, okay, well, what are plans that have this weight equipment? Or what are workout routines that have maybe more cardio versus more weights, or more weights versus more cardio? I feel like there's so much out there. Like, how would you choose what fitness plan is best for you?
So, I mean, you can, so it depends. So, first thing you think about is your goals. And then you have to think about like your budget, right? So if you have a budget that you can spend the money to get a good coach, do it. I still take on one-on-one coaching. It is a premium price, but the premium price is worth it because you get such individualized attention. I help you with your nutrition, I help you with your workouts. Your workouts are customized completely to you. But I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine. And I specialize in women that have garage gyms, home gyms, and I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and I get that. But if you have like the budget and the wherewithal to be able to do a customized plan with a coach, I highly recommend it. Now, if that is not an option, the next thing that I would look for is, where do you work out? So again, my audience, like on my Instagram and on my Pinterest and everything, is home gym, garage gym. Those women that follow me have a home gym or a garage gym. And then think about your goals. Is your goals building muscle or like weight loss? I am a big proponent of not focusing on weight loss, because if you focus on everything else, the weight loss will come. I'm a big proponent of that. And then look at the coach and like how they coach. Do you like how they coach? Are they, even though it's going to be like generalized, do you like their personality? Do you like how they deliver their content? An example for me would be, if I wasn't a coach, I would not want to buy a program from someone who just posts booty pictures on Instagram. Like, I know you know what I'm talking about.
I do, yeah.
But the mirror selfies, flexing and posing, is an immediate turn off for me, because and maybe I'm the few and far between, but it's immediate turn off for me because it wouldn't be about me. It would be about you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, if you're sitting there flexing and posing, look what I can do. I don't want to see you. I want to see somebody else. Which is why I've, like, in my content and the app that I'm building and everything, I want to post more. I post a lot of me, but I want to post more of like women that are. So you have to look and see, do you like the coach and what kind of coaching do they do? You're not going to hire a running coach if you want to learn if you want to be able to deadlift your body weight. You know, so when it comes to, so like what I'm working on right now is an app, right? It's for women that have garage gyms specifically. It will still work for women that have like home gyms,
right? But
specifically for women that have garage gyms. I'm creating a membership program, right? And so right now I'm putting together the first month, the workouts for the first month. So with that, I'm thinking about, what equipment do my women have that are going to buy this? What equipment do they have? What are their typical goals going to be? And I have to create it based on typicals. So I don't know if that helped or not, but you have to kind of check a couple of lists. Or check a couple of things if you're looking for a coach. But for the love of humanity, stop downloading free Pinterest workouts.
But like, listen, just what stop. Other options do I have if I don't have a high budget, right?
Well, there are options. I mean, there are options. If you don't have a garage gym, you don't have a home gym, there are apps out there for women that are no equipment or specific to Globo gyms or whatever equipment you have or don't have. There are apps out there that are very affordable or free with ads. So at the same time, this is your health. If you're not willing to invest a little bit in it, then I think that's a different conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's trying to deliver the truth with grace. If you're willing to go spend $100, just drop $100 at Target or TJ Maxx, but you're not willing to spend $50 a month to get a program
right
to help you reach your fitness goals, you don't have a money problem. You have a priority problem. That's my as best I can truth with grace.
I like it. So I'll just give up my Starbucks drink for like 2 days a week. That should be good, right?
Basically, and don't be drinking Starbucks anyway. Go local.
That's true.
Go local.
Listen, I just know, like off the top of my head, Starbucks
yes,
drinks
absolutely.
are like $6.
I agree. I'm just teasing you. I'm totally teasing you. I'm totally teasing.
For fitness, I feel like it is a little bit overwhelming to like get into it initially. There's so many different movements for so many different body parts. So like when I first got into fitness, the main thing I worked on, right, was cardio, because they had machines at the gym for cardio. And then arms and legs, and like that's it, right? That's all you think about whenever you're first getting into it, at least me. And now women are more like into like legs and glutes. I feel like that is really popular right now. But there's more to it than just that.
Yes, there is. So when you're building, so even if you're building your glutes is a big goal, that's going to take a while. And not to be discouraging, it's just going to take time to do. Your glutes are your strongest muscles in your body. So you're going to have to lift heavy weights. There's also a lot of misinformation about building glutes. You see women out there, influencers, doing exercises with the same weight that they're doing a bicep curl with. Literally. That doesn't even compute. So are you asking where someone starts?
Not only where to start, but like what muscles you can work and different exercises for those muscles as well, you know? Does that make sense?
Sure. So that's still a lot. Still very broad.
It is a lot. Sorry.
It's fine. No, it's totally fine, because it is a lot. I mean, and quite frankly, that's one of the huge reasons I became a coach in 2017. I had already been in the health industry for a long time. I had been a physical therapy technician for 6 years before that. So I had been involved in that, and that I worked underneath a DPT. And so in 2017, after I had my son, I had the idea of where to start, but past the starting point, because I had that background, but past the starting point, I wasn't quite sure. And then I get on Pinterest, and like what you said, I was overwhelmed with the amount of information. On one pin, it would say, do this. And on the very next pin, it would say, don't do the thing that the first pin said. So what am I supposed to do?
Right. So
then I started digging into it, but that was one of the main reasons, was because I was like, there's got to be a better way of doing this. And so I, for me, went back to kind of the beginning of like, okay, before fads, before the push of plant-based, which is garbage. Anyway, but the push of plant-based and keto and eggs and bacon are bad for you and carbs are bad for you. What's the beginning? What did God create, right? What did he tell us to eat? Because he does. And where do we go from there? And then basics of exercises right. And so I went back to the beginning, and that has been my goal ever since, is to provide non-garbage fitness information. But for someone who's just starting out, I say the best place to start is to find someone that, and there's a lot of options, that you feel like you can trust, and you follow them and follow their program. Because if you just piece stuff together, you're going to confuse yourself. You need to find someone who has put in the work of studying the material. I mean, I've got literally piles of books. I've got anatomy books, personal trainer guides. I've got it all the education I've ever taken right there. Find someone that that has put in the work and follow them, because they're going to have affordable plans based on the needs that you have. Any coach worth their salt will have their premium packages, and then they'll have their more affordable packages that will still get you the results.
Yeah.
That's where I say to start. Find someone that you can connect with and follow their plan. Because if you try to piece it together yourself without going for the licenses and going for the career of it, you don't have time to do that. Mm-hmm. Nobody does. Nobody does. Unless it's your job.
Right.
So.
On that note, though, finding somebody that can help you along, I would also suggest, which I guess some people do better, working out by themselves. I am not one of those people.
I am.
I was like, you're one of those people. I am not. But you also know a lot more about the industry. You already know what muscles to work out, which movements you're going to do, the weights that you need, and you have the discipline already instilled to do that.
Sure.
But for somebody else, I know that I wouldn't necessarily finish a workout that's programmed here anyways on my own. Having a community at CrossFit has really helped to push me and help me to have better discipline, because they hold me accountable. They text me hey, where are you at? Why aren't you at class? They know when I come. Mm-hmm. And it may be hard to find somebody to work out with, but I think it's worth it if you need to work on building that motivation and discipline initially anyways. But also just to make it more fun, to hang out and chat. If you're not into one of those people that are in the zone, I'm going to do this and get it done.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And that's very true as well. And that's one of the things that I am hoping to kind of alleviate with this app that I'm creating. So I'm actually creating a community tab in the app.
Cool.
So you'll have your membership. Sorry, there's Izzy shaking. I don't know if she picked up that noise, but you'll have the collar there. But I lost my train of thought. Oh, you'll have your membership, right? So there'll be membership, and then there will be my bigger programs that you can buy or whatever. So you'll have the tab of everything that you have, whether it be your membership plus whatever, or just your membership. Then there will be the community tab on there. And in that community tab, there will be threads of, I completed Monday's workout. Let's see pics, pics or it didn't happen. Just fun stuff like that of holding each other accountable, but encouragement of oh my goodness, my workout sucked today. But getting that feedback of you got this, girl, go drink some water, drink your protein, and just encouraging and uplifting. And there's also going to be spaces where I'll educate, right? Of whatever it is, just information that will not be posted anywhere else will be in this community tab. So I'm hoping to alleviate what you were saying, because having a garage gym can be lonely sometimes.
Yeah.
Then having that there, and then there will be a track tab where you'll have habits that you want to build, whether it be I want to get 8 hours of sleep every night, you can track that in there. So I'm hoping to alleviate that part of it, even possibly doing live classes, maybe even while in there, but it's all going to be in an app in your hand, and not my website's going to be here and then a Facebook group over here and then your YouTube videos over here. It's all going to be in one place. So I'm hoping to alleviate that.
That's really cool. I didn't realize that you were building in a community tab. I think that would probably be my favorite part of the app. Like the workouts and stuff are nice to have, but like I really thrive on that community aspect. And I'm also and I like encouraging too. I like encouraging people.
You're good at it.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
And so being like having that tab, I think would make that app like 100% better. That's really cool.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Because David and my husband and I really talked this through before we made the jump into investing in it. And I told him, I was like, I can provide the workouts all day, but these women even me, someone who does work out well on their own because I just do it and get it done and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I do enjoy going to the gym and doing like community workouts every once in a while and stuff like that. And so having that community of women, of like-minded women, even if we're not sitting face to face, having it on the tab is going to be like, I really think that that'll be a huge selling point. But
that's fun.
Anyway,
I like that.
Yeah. So
another thing, and you kind of spoke on this a little bit, people don't think about sleep very often when they think fitness. But that's a lot of your recovery time, right?
Yeah, so sleep it's one of your top 3 probably. So you have your workout, your hydration, your food, and sleep. Those 4 things are make or break, truly. So sleep, so your body has these different states, right? So you have sympathetic and parasympathetic state, right? Where you're in and out of stress. Yes. So you want to be in stress state when you're in your workouts. But when you're done with your workout, if you're still in stress state, then your workout wasn't super effective. So your sleep is supposed to restore you, right? It's supposed to heal and restore. That's why there have been phrases through the years of sleep on it. Don't make a decision right now, you're tired. Sleep on it. Because your body and your mind are allowed to rest. You close your mind, you close your eyes, you shut off your mind. Now, if you're someone like me who struggles with shutting off their mind and shutting down, it can be a real issue. Sleep is something that I struggle with. But when I am getting good sleep, not only are my workouts better, but my overall well-being is better. I'm not cranky. I don't have headaches. Just there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
So.
And is the amount of sleep you need, I guess, does it depend on the person, or does everybody need like 8 hours of sleep to be able to function well?
So mainstream science will tell you that you need 7 to 9, which is a great starting place. It has also been discovered through studies that women typically need more sleep than men. My husband and I are a perfect example of that. First of all, my love language is quality time. So in the evenings, that's when he and I get to spend time together. So whether we play a card game or watch a movie, that's our time together. But he can go to sleep consistently between 12 and 1 o'clock and get up and go to work and be fine. I cannot.
No.
And so because I'm my love language may even be quantity time, yeah. But I have a hard time, like, maybe it's because I'm afraid I'm going to miss something. I don't know. But like, I will not, I go through spells where I'm just like, I'll just stay up and just to have time with him, because just depending on what his work schedule is and all that. So anyway, point is, women need more sleep than men. Some of it has to do with hormones. It could be a multitude of different reasons, but typically women need more sleep than men. But 7 to 9 hours is a good starting point. 10 hours for me is a sweet spot. I never get 10 hours of sleep. But if I get 10 hours of sleep, I am like But I never get 10 hours of sleep. Ever.
I feel like I have a love-hate relationship with sleep. I can sleep anywhere, anytime. I could just fall asleep wherever.
Wow.
But I hate sleeping because I feel like I'm wasting time that I could be doing something else.
Oh, you said your toxic trait out loud. It's true. I hear you. I hear you. So I could nap, and I may not even like sleep, but like there are some afternoons where I'll just like lay on top of the covers and just kind of like propped up, but I'll just like snooze for like 30 minutes or so. And I'm like a completely different person. So during school time when we're doing school and it's colder outside, I tend to struggle with seasonal depression. So if it's cold and dark, I really struggle with seasonal depression, which is why it's really important for me, especially during the winter, to get all my workouts in plus mobility, because that helps with my brain. But anyway, it's a personal thing. But like we'll do school in the morning and then we'll have lunch and then we may do a little bit more in the afternoon. But we'll do our lunch and then I'll have Joshua like read a book and then I may snooze for like 30 minutes before we pick up with what we need to do for the afternoon, and I'm a completely different person. So, and I've heard of women doing that like either, you know, when they're at home with their kids or going to their car if they have to work during the day and snoozing in their car, and it completely changes the rest of their day. Sleep is very underrated. And there was this toxic movement among everyone that the less sleep you had and the more you were grinding and doing all these things, like it was like a badge of honor.
Listen, all
and
this
it's
talking
very
about sleep
toxic.
is making me so tired. Oh, I'm like, I need a nap now. I'm just gonna go crawl under the table and sleep. Oh, I just need to get out in the sunshine a little bit and absorb all the vitamin D. So Amber, are there certain foods that are better to eat after you work out, and can you eat before you work out?
Oh yeah, you can eat before you work out. Eat whenever you're hungry. Eat when it feels right to you. There are some people that eat like kings and queens at breakfast and lunch and then have a very small dinner. And other people it's reverse, where they have very small breakfast and heavy lunches and heavy dinners. Then there's people that have a very balanced breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Whatever your body is telling you, I do believe you need breakfast of some kind. But yes, eat whenever, if you want to eat before. I can't eat very much before a workout or it makes my stomach hurt. Like I just don't. But I know of people, I have had clients that will eat a full-on meal and come work out. And they do great.
Yeah.
I could not do that. There's one lady I'm thinking of in particular, and I had her early in the morning. This was when I still worked in a gym. And I had her early in the morning. She would get up, make herself 3 eggs and a piece of toast and some juice. And then she'd have her coffee after her workout. If I ate that much food before I worked out, I would vomit. But she did amazing. It just worked for her. But then when she left, she'd have some protein and have her coffee. But it worked for her. Yeah. So it worked.
I've talked to different people here at the gym too that are different. Some can't eat at all. I have to eat before I work out or I will get sick.
There you go.
So I will eat eggs and toast or oatmeal or whatever I decide to fix that morning. Yeah. But if it's too heavy in carbs, like if I have like French toast or pancakes, I feel like it doesn't go as well. It has to be higher in protein usually to sit better in my stomach.
I am a huge proponent, especially for the types of women that I typically coach. I have an older client right now, so she's, a little bit different than um, the women I typically coach, but she it's still the same, but not the same. It's similar. But for the women that I typically coach that are like weightlifting, they're working on carving muscles, right? Mm-hmm. They're working on feeling really good and in their clothes and out of their clothes, quite frankly, but just feeling really good about themselves. I highly recommend protein. And I typically will recommend them to either be at body weight, like 1.5 grams of protein, or 2 grams of protein per body weight. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's a lot of protein.
Yeah, it's a lot of protein. It's a lot of protein. But I don't very often do the 2x protein because it's just a lot of protein. And that's just a lot of protein. However, it builds the muscle, and if you're doing those harder weight training workouts, your muscles need that recovery. So again, it's different for everyone. Protein after a workout is so, like, right now I don't have protein powder. I need to order some. Mm-hmm. So I had my workout this morning and I ate a chicken breast after.
A chicken. I ate a whole chicken.
I ate a whole chicken. The whole thing. Minus the bones. No, I ate a chicken breast after my workout. So, protein. Yeah. And I feel good. I'm getting hungry again, but that just means that I'm ready now for, like, the fruit that I have cut up and my vegetables, and then I'll be ready for a starch as well. So.
Awesome. I'm excited. It makes me want to go work out and gets me pumped up again to, like, I just did my workout and, like, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go again.
Go build some muscle.
I'm ready to go again. So yeah, no, it is a lot of protein, which is why I recommend a, like, solid protein powder. And not all protein powders are created the same, but by any stretch of the imagination. But there are ways. You don't have to sit there and eat chicken until you're blue in the face to get your protein in. You get a good protein powder that you enjoy and that you like and that has good ingredients in it, and that will get you a long way to your goal of eating your protein.
I've been doing a little bit of research on this. Is there a huge difference between plant and animal-based protein? So I was looking at a little bit of research, and it said that the plant protein only after about 4 hours, you don't absorb anywhere from like 2 to 10% of it versus like animal protein.
So this is my personal opinion, okay, based on my experience, research I've read. Animal protein is superior to plant protein for satiety levels and nutrients. The plant protein, still has its place, I guess you would say, but God created animals, specific animals, for us to eat. The nutrients in those animals. Now, modern society has screwed up a lot of our meat processing, right? Which is why I'm a huge proponent of buying directly from the farmer or the rancher, or hunting or fishing for your own food. We do that. That's how we get our meat. Animal protein is superior to plant protein. That is my personal opinion based on my experience and the experience with my clients. When you start getting into plant-based protein, getting it strictly from plants, when someone's, if you're in the store and it says plant-based protein, 9 times out of 10 the ingredients on those lists are going to be, there's going to be 5,000 ingredients on that list, and it's not actually plant protein. Now, if you're eating like edamame, just straight edamame, that's good plant-based protein. You're not going to get super full off of edamame, right? But we have to be really careful when we use the term plant-based, because there are there are people that claim to be plant-based protein when the vast majority of what their product actually is chemicals.
I see.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Eggplant has a higher amount of protein in it than other plants. So if you're actually eating plants for your plant-based protein and not buying plant-based protein out of a box,
right,
there's a difference there as well. But you're still going to be hard-pressed to get full and satisfied off of just eating plants versus if you have a protein. We may get 1 star for me saying stuff like that, but oh well.
No.
Oh well. So.
Is there anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. I feel like we've had a good conversation. I mean, just to kind of put a bow on everything, find someone. You need to follow a program. Find a coach that you enjoy. If you can afford one-on-one coaching for minimum of 6 months, and learn from them, put the investment in to learn from them. Like, I have women that I have coached, and I coached them for 6 to 12 months, and then I educated them, I invested in them to where they can now just do like just the workouts, and the other stuff they have now ingrained in them, and they know what to do for themselves. So to tie a bow, I guess. If you can invest in having a coach for a minimum of 6 months, do it. Do it. Whether it's me, whether it's someone else who's not going to feed you fanatical garbage, do it. If you go to a Globo gym and you want me to coach you, I will absolutely coach you. I'm just saying, like, what I specialize in, what my app specializes in is the garage gym stuff. So find someone. If not, if you can't afford the one-on-one coaching, find a coach that can do generalized programming at that you are actually following a plan. And eat real food. Get it as close to the source as possible. Get your meat as close to the source as possible. Your plants as close to the source as possible. So.
Good advice. Thanks, Amber.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for listening to Jesus Coffee and Barbells. I'm Amber George, and you can find me at Refined by Iron. And then we have Sarah. You can find her at Mommy McMom Face. Thank you so much for listening. If you wouldn't mind, go leave us a review, 5-star preferably. Before you leave us a 1-star review, and send us an email. Give us your thoughts, and maybe we can make it up to you, you know? Just, yeah. But anyway, 5-star review if you feel so inclined. It just helps get the word out and get the gospel and truth in front of people. Next time, we are going to be talking about stop saying do what makes you happy and other phrases that we, quite frankly, hate. So, and why it doesn't line up with scripture and what all that means. So we will see you next week right here on Jesus Coffee Barbells. Go follow us on Instagram, and we'll see you next time.